Hello, today I'll be reviewing the Ed Hardy Women's EDP. This is a pretty old one. It was released in 2008 and I only bought this for the first time I think in 2018, so that was only 10 years after the release. It felt like a lot longer, but I used it up and I bought it again in 2024, and I will be kind of explaining why this is what I've realized is my perfect summer fragrance. I remember buying it in 2018 for maybe like 25, and I bought it yesterday for $30. So AUD, that's really cheap, especially for 100 mils and an EDP. I remember, well, this was a blind buy for me back then. I was just like, Ed Hardy, I used to love Ed Hardy, I'll just buy it, it's cheap. And I was really actually super surprised. I think it's probably been my only successful blind buy. Um, and I loved it. I knew it was really fruity and sweet with a little bit of smokiness underneath, which is perfect for what I go for. But I knew it was summer appropriate, but because I didn't have many fragrances back then, I kind of wore it all year round to work. It is work safe, I believe. Um, yeah, I would wear it all year round, and I just kind of think I wasn't getting the most out of it. And because of that, because I wasn't always getting the best experience with it, I kind of just let it be the fragrance that I wore when I had nothing else to wear. But now that this year I've been really perfecting my perfume collection and narrowing it down to about 6 or 7, I realized I'm just missing something that makes me really happy in summer. So I went and bought this again, and now I feel like I can finally wear something that's fresh, that I really like, that I feel like is not me trying to wear something to tell me how to feel. So yeah, the top notes in this, I'll just spray it a bit on me. Top notes are mango, grapefruit, wild strawberry, and apple. Now, when I first spray it, I do get tropical fruits. I definitely do get the grapefruit actually, because it's not a citrus, but it's sort of making it a little more tangy, but you know, not as much as like lime or bergamot. I definitely get the mango, and probably the extra sweetness is probably from the wild strawberry. I'm not sure if I detect the apple too much, but I guess that could also be giving it the really fresh summery feel. So yeah, the grapefruit and the apple probably make it really fresh, whereas the wild strawberry and the mango probably give it that really tropical sweet, even though strawberry is not tropical, but you know what I mean. It's just really sweet and suitable for summer. So the mid notes, which I really like, however I don't detect them very much, are like white florals, freesia, lime blossom, and lily of the valley. So I always prefer light or white florals because I don't really like to smell rosy or like a bouquet of flowers or like a garden. Um, I like something that's really subtle and keep saying the word light, but yes, light, and with a little bit of sweetness as well, and not very vegetal or green. So even though I think that the fruitiness in the top notes lasts a long time in this fragrance, I guess that the white florals that I'm not detecting are still there, and that's what's making me really like the fragrance. So pretty much after like 1 minute of spraying it, I start to detect some of the base notes, especially I believe the tonka bean and the amber. So the base notes are amber, vanilla, musk, and tonka bean. And I think I start detecting them after a minute because I start smelling like a smokiness. It's kind of like a little bit incensey, a little bit yeah, just like a smokiness, but not, maybe a little bit like tobacco, but not like burnt tobacco. um, it's more like a haziness, a hazy smoke. I suppose you could say like a smoke machine kind of smoke because it's really sweet through everything else. But yeah, that's why I think that this is perfect. And to be honest, I think that people don't really give this fragrance enough credit as being like an edgy Ed Hardy fragrance. I think they tend to say this is so generic, it's so fruity, it's too sweet, it's just for summer and nothing else. You wouldn't expect this of Ed Hardy, but I've always been able to smell like the depth of this fragrance, the smokiness, the like kind of warmth, like amber. Um, and I think the musk in there also gives it a lot of dimension. When musk isn't the main base note, I don't detect it very well. So I've heard that musk can be used to kind of like enhance other notes, if that makes sense. So I think that the musk is really just giving this some more dimension. And that's great for me because amber, vanilla, and musk and woody notes, and I kind of consider tonka bean a little bit woody. They are my preferred base notes in all fragrances. I don't think I even have a single one that do not have several of those notes at the base. Let's talk bottle design because I keep forgetting to do that. First of all, it comes in this box, which I think is really cool. It's eye-catching, and like the hot pink really does give it like that early 2000s vibe. Of course, the artwork is really nice if you like that kind of old school artwork. Yeah, it's kind of like a box that you attempted to keep, and I actually am keeping it. I'm storing tampons in there out of anything. I remember the first time I bought this 6 years ago. I really wanted to keep the box, but I just couldn't find a reason for it. But I found that this fits really nicely in my bathroom cabinet, hence why I'm keeping it and putting something convenient in there. And as for the perfume bottle itself, I think it's a gorgeous design. I really like the more pale pink. Hot pink would have been really cute too, but I think pale pink really suits me more. And I used to always get confused about all the writing. I would think like, oh, is this perfume called Ed Hardy Life, Love, Luck? I don't know. It used to confuse me, but this perfume really doesn't have a name. It's just Ed Hardy Women's EDP. So the cap comes off like this, revealing the completely clear bottle. It's pretty nice and it's sleek, but to be honest, I think that it's a little bit impractical to have this lid. I remember picking it up, my old bottle, I would often just pick it up from the bench like that, and over time the cap became really loose and it would sometimes drop out. The perfume bottle would drop out, smack on the floor. Luckily it didn't smash. I don't know how, but yeah, and this lid ended up, I think I just ended up dropping the lid too one time because it became like really loose and the whole thing dropped, and this little like metal part on top popped out of the lid and the lid kind of cracked. So I ended up just keeping this plain, inconspicuous looking fragrance from when it was like here down to when I finished it. So that wasn't very pleasing to look at. So if you have this, just be careful. Don't pick it up quickly from a bench like that. Just kind of grab it. Yeah, so I sprayed it on this piece of paper probably about 15 minutes ago now. And yeah, it's definitely past the top notes of all the fruits. And you know, perhaps I am actually smelling the white florals now. Yeah, I actually believe I am. So that's interesting to always do a paper test as well as on yourself. And it's also getting to the base notes really well now. So I think lasting power of this fragrance, I think it's reasonable, especially for the price. I'm actually always happy to respray perfumes just once, like at midday or after lunch or something. And this is not so overpowering that you can't do multiple sprays. But yeah, if you're looking for something that you can wear for like 6 to 8 hours, this is probably not it. But I find that I'm okay with that, especially in summer when you really expect your body to be like projecting and getting out all of this heat and fragrance. Naturally, you're just going to have to put more on. But yeah, as I said before, I use this as a summer fragrance. However, I think that people might find this suitable for all seasons. It's just that I don't have something other than this that is very suitable for summer, that feels fresh yet has all other elements that I love in perfumes, like the fruitiness and those warm, deep base notes. So even though this fragrance is not very popular anymore, and you're more likely to have someone tell you that it reminds them of when they were young, and like, you know, make a point of it being such an old fragrance, I don't think of it that way. Like, I really hope that this actually comes back into fashion with the younger, you know, like Gen Z, bringing back early 2000s fragrances, not fragrances, like fashion, but, you know, hopefully some will look back into the fragrances as well. And another thing is that people say that this is a really young fragrance, like they can't picture anyone older than like teens or early 20s wearing this, but I think I tend to disagree with that a lot, because I think perhaps those people are really only detecting the first spray of this, which is really fruity. Yeah, it's fruity, it's girly, it's sweet, um, except like, I don't know, I feel like they aren't really sensing the depth and smokiness in this fragrance. And of course, that does still make it suitable for younger girls. But I think that this is really for anyone of any age. And to me, it kind of gives me the image of someone who does like kind of edgy alternative fashion, and who does like Ed Hardy as the brand, but who is actually like really sweet and friendly, and, you know, wouldn't want their fashion and, you know, the first impression you get on their style to be how you determine their personality, which can be really friendly and really nice. And also, yeah, I think people who are just young at heart can wear this. I think if I detected this on a 40-year-old, I would be like, that's amazing, you really suit this, if, you know, their personality suited this. And same for someone who was 60 or 70 years old, you know, if they're just living their life, not letting their age like determine how they should act or dress or anything, I would just straight up say, you're amazing, you suit this so much. So yeah, that is what I think of this Ed Hardy fragrance. I think it is great that it's still around. I have a lot of memories associated with it from just 6 years ago, but other people obviously have memories from like 15 years ago with this fragrance. And I think that people should be wearing this now, because it's very cheap, and I think it is actually quite unique, and I don't think people really give it credit for how unique and like the depth that it has. So I hope that if you were considering trying this out, I think it's a very safe buy, and I don't really think that you would regret spending like $20 or $30 on this. And it's just beautiful. Remember to take care of the bottle, because it can get a little flimsy. And yeah, I really think that this is a delight to have in my collection. Very happy to be calling it my signature summer fragrance again. Thank you for watching.